Yo, 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 what's happening there, party people? How's it going? Sorry to keep you all waiting there, folks, but it is the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you lads and lasses. We are here to cover the latest Manchester United transfer news and latest news in general. Loads of stuff going in, so smash those love hearts. Hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done so at the start of this stream. Give us a massive like. Share us around on social media if you want as well. That'd be awesome. You can give us a retweet. The tweet is pinned to the top of the live chat, so give us a cheeky little share around. You know it makes sense. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel, get yourself subscribed to the show, and you will that way be kept up to date with the latest goings on at this once great football club, hopefully soon to be great again football club, because there are changes happening. There are obviously big decisions being made. People like Slabby Maguire being stripped of the captaincy. People like Andre Onana being signed to hopefully transform the way we play. And hopefully, if with any luck, those Glazer shithousers getting gone very soon, with new owners hopefully coming into the football club very soon. We've got lots to get into today, and I mean lots of transfer news and latest goings on. So let's get stuck in. How are you all doing though today first? Dave Jason, what's going on, lad? You've changed your name again. Hey, fair play to you, Dave. Is that DJ Disco Dave? I think it is. DJ Disco Dave, aka Dave Jason, welcome in the stream pod. Berber, yes, get in there, you absolute handsome bastard. How are you doing? Templar Priest, Dynamic Melon, Mitesh. We got the Vutinator in here. Kingslayer, Nikolai Lindquist, Scujo, Philip Chapman. Oh yes, Michael Price, the Vutinator, Primot, Elastic TV, hello to you. Marky Coughlin, get in there, my son. Mr. Primot, Luke, look, MUFC, United Tactical Talk, Brian, Neil Duffin, you handsome legend. What's going on? The Biscuit Connoisseur Extraordinaire. We've got Stay Gold, Ben Dorr, and everybody. Nath Alanazi, thank you so much for getting in here. Luan France, good morning to you as well. And everybody else as well, thank you very much for getting in the stream. You know how this works. This is a fully interactive community show. So we will get into the the live chat throughout the show, so you can have your say throughout on any of the topics we're discussing. We always have a big Q&A at the end of the stream as well, just to see what you legends are all saying. So stick around for that. I'm not too bad, Ramadan Ibrahim. I'm melting still. I'm still unwell. I'm painkillered up to the nines. I've just got a massive cold at the moment and feel rancid, to be fair, but I'm not doing too bad. Thanks for asking, bud. Afternoon, Steve McGregor. Get in there, Michael, as well. And Avram Glazer. Fucking hell, John. With a super chat here. Avram Glazer, you scumbag. He says, I would like to take this moment to thank myself. That sounds about right as well. Let's just get a hashtag Glazers out in the live chat, everyone, for this tosh piece. Avram Glazer, Avram and Joel. Those are the sort of names turds might have, guys. But anyway, Avram Glazer, here he is, giving it the big in the chat. Thank you for the £2 super chat. Now get out. Right, thank you very much for joining us, peeps. We've got plenty to get into, so yes, drop that like button on it if you haven't done so. Twat the likes, it helps the channel out, and let's get stuck into the news. So first of all, Onana, what's my name? Onana, what's my name? Onana, what's my name? What's my name? What's my name? Onana. Elastic TV, let's get stuck into it. He says, when is the Onana medical taking place? Okay, so the latest updates we've got are, it's expected that it could be tomorrow, which is Tuesday. So there are reports from last night here that suggest that it's between today and tomorrow, Andre Onana's medical examination will be with Manchester United. The latest is essentially that he is saying goodbye to everybody there. So here's a picture of him this morning. And he is arrived at Inter Milan's training centre this morning to say goodbye to everyone at the club before flying to England. We don't have a precise time of when his medical will be taking place. It could be tonight, could be tomorrow, but it's expected in the next 24 hours or so. So it's probably going to be tomorrow, but it could be tonight, I suppose. He's been pictured at Inter's training centre there this morning, saying goodbyes to everyone before flying out. So, you know, we're expecting it will be very soon, and obviously pretty exciting news to get that done and dusted. We want to see him pass the medical, obviously, and then he'll be here to sign paperwork, and in the space of maybe 48 to 72 hours, so a bit later on in the week, we should see the official unveiling of Andre Onana as a Manchester United player. Get in there, my son. Come on, Andre Onana. So there he is, and hopefully it's going to be today, tomorrow. We'll keep you posted as and when that happens. But very, very soon is the medical. He will be flying into Manchester United very, very soon. There's no dramas there. Obviously, based on last night, the announcement from Fabrizio that there was the here we go situation with Andre Onana, which means obviously the deal has been done, and David Ornstein obviously reporting that we'd agreed the situation yesterday with Inter and Andre Onana. So we're just waiting for his medical, guys. His medical is incoming. There's been a little bit more that's come out in regards to some of the details behind the deal. So, for instance, there are reports that from Fabrizio said in his video that Andre Onana was happy at Inter, but he had a fantastic season obviously there and was very happy with his teammates and manager and the city. But when Erik ten Hag came a-calling weeks ago, it was impossible to reject the opportunity to play for Manchester United. Come on! So obviously this guy knows what sort of a football club we are, knows the history, the tradition, the stature of the club, the project here. But also, I think Erik ten Hag does have a big hand in this whole situation of bringing Andre Onana to the football club, based on what he's done previously with Andre Onana, the reputation and the history that he shares with Andre Onana. So that's obviously a big plus point for us getting this player. It's a bit of a coup of a sign-in because it should hopefully get us pressing better, get us attacking better, get us scoring more goals, being direct, and actually not making as many errors at the back, hopefully. That's the idea here. So get in there, Andre Onana. I mean, there's a lot of people I see putting online compilations of Andre Onana making all these sorts of mistakes and stuff. I mean, they're just obviously bitter Liverpool scummers who are trying to, make us look bad or whatever that we're signing Andre Onana. I think you can make any goalkeeper look pretty dodgy with a compilation of their errors. As I've said before, all the best goalkeepers in the world have made some pretty gash-tastic errors at some point, whether it's Schmeichel or Buffon or Casillas or whoever. All of the legends at some point have done a clanger. So you could easily make a video to suggest that Andre Onana's a bit error-prone, but he's, don't think he's going to be any more error-prone than David De Gea, who in my opinion is also a great goalkeeper. But people just jealous. I think they're just jealous, aren't they, guys? Can we get a hashtag WellGel in the live chat for these Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea scumbags, Man City scumbags, etc.? They're just, they're obviously willing Andre Onana to be a failure at Manchester United, but I don't think he will be. I think he will hopefully transform the way we play. Ten Hag's got this guy in for a reason to play a certain way and because he knows him and has faith in what he's trying to do. So I don't think we're going to see what these rival fans want to happen, which is a failure of Andre Onana. You never know. You never know, obviously. Like I've said before, there's many an occasion at United where we signed a player and they've come in with big pomp and circumstance and they've got a big reputation and even a huge name behind them and had a really great career, but it doesn't always click at Manchester United. It doesn't always click. But one thing I do like about Erik ten Hag is he seems to be the meaty sort of individual that's prepared to make these difficult decisions and try and actually assemble a team of players together that will work for his style of play. He knows how he wants to play and how United want to play, obviously, and he's got this vision. And he's so far signed players that fit that vision. He's not just signing players because they pop up and they're a big name and for the sake of it. He's signing players because he wants to play a certain way and he knows that he can get the best out of these players to do so. So I think Andre Onana fits into that category. He should be a very, very decent signing. Get in there, you beauties. So, yeah, the latest on Andre Onana is just that, guys. We're expecting the medical to be incoming very, very soon. This is a report from Fabrizio Romano earlier on today, which said that Andre Onana deal has been agreed yesterday. As Manchester United will now start to prepare contracts and paperwork, then book the medical tests. So this was 6 hours ago, may have already been booked. As I say, it could be tonight, but most likely will be tomorrow that the medical will be. Like I say, he's saying goodbye to everyone at Inter today, and then he will be flying into Manchester United to conduct the medical and finish all the paperwork, etc. He will sign a deal until June 2028, plus an option until 2029. So there you go, guys. Tomorrow we should see him fly to Manchester United at the latest, conduct that medical, I should say, and then obviously sign on the dotted line. So get in there, my friend. Andre Onana, what's my name? It's soon to be a Manchester United player. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, by the way. If you're just getting in, 157 legends. Let's get 157 likes on the stream. If you haven't done so, drop a little thumbs up, and it does help the channel out significantly. Hey, it's my brother here, Tactician Tom. What's going on, mate? He says, Bruno had 2 offers from Saudi in June. He turned both of them down as Man United priority. Oh, really? Hey, I'm doing the transfer news around here, mate. Yeah? What's he doing? Getting in here, trying to give the news before I've got around to that. I've got that information in front of me. Here it is. Here it is. You know, I'm going to get onto that later. There's a structure to this show. There's an order. Okay? You're ruining it for me. What are you doing? There's a structure and an order. Let's talk about that then, seeing as you've mentioned it very quickly. Reports are that it's understood that Bruno Fernandes rejected more than 2 approaches from Saudi Arabia 1 month ago. It's only Manchester United for Bruno, who's expected to become the next permanent captain. Get in there, my son. Bruno Fernandes obviously very, very happy with his role at Manchester United. Look, he's obviously loved at Manchester United. He's certainly a player that the fan base has really warmed to because of how he conducts himself both on and off the pitch and how he plays and represents Manchester United. He's obviously a full-blooded, passionate sort of player. And he's somebody that when he first came into United really did explode. He hit the ground running and he was absolutely brilliant. And statistically speaking, even last season, he was right up there. I think he got the most chances created for his teammates in the league. That's ahead of ginger tossers like Kevin De Bruyne and stuff. So fair play to Bruno Fernandes. There's no doubt in his quality. You can say he gives the ball away quite a lot, which he does. But he also takes a lot of chances and creates the most chances. And he's actually the guy taking the risks out there, making stuff happen. So, yeah, he's an unbelievable talent. Bruno Fernandes is the next captain, I think, at United. But let's ask the live chat, who would you like to see being given the armband? Anthony White says Casemiro for captain. Casemiro for captain there is what he says. Bruno's our true captain, says Stephen Shipman. Let us know who you would like to see given the armband after the news that Harry Maguire's had his armband stripped. Martinez says Amaya. Dave the Gamer's thinking Bruno. Ramadan Ibrahim says Maguire to Saudi Arabia. Yeah, Maguire to Saudi Arabia. I think there's a camel out there who's looking for an extra hump. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to want Slabo. We'll get into that in a bit as well. Bruno says Ben Bray. Cassie says Scott. Martinez says Compost Muff. Bruno. Maguire Ori Riot says Sean N. You must be a Liverpool scummer. Bruno, of course, says Luan. Bruno, Cass. It seems most people want Bruno or Casemiro. Those are the 2 favoured people to be the captain. And in my opinion, going forward, we should probably give the armband to Bruno Fernandes because he's been given the armband from Erik ten Hag most of the time when Slabby Maguire's not been playing last season. And then also Casemiro, vice-captain, I think does make the most sense because he's a super full-blooded competitor and he's the most experienced winner out there as well, along with him. Well, and him and Rafael Varane obviously have very great storied histories at other football clubs. And, it does make sense to give the armband to the best players, but also the most experienced players and the best sort of passionate leaders. Varane's an injury-prone player, though. He won't be playing as much in the team as Casemiro. So I would probably give the captaincy to Bruno Fernandes and the vice-captaincy to Casemiro, just because those are probably the 2 best sort of players that are consistent as well. And if you're a captain of United, you've got to perform, you've got to lead by example, you've got to play well. And unfortunately, unless you are putting in consistent performances, you're going to get it taken off of you, i.e. Slabo Maguire, who's now 4th or 5th choice centre-back at the club and hopefully will be on his way. So there you go. That is great news. Thank you, Tactician Tom, my brother there, for getting in here with that news about Bruno Fernandes. That is the latest in regards to Bruno. Apparently he rejected moves from Saudi Arabia. Bruno's a red. Let's face it, Bruno's a red, and I think he's happy in Manchester. He's happy with the role that he's got in the side. He's happy with the love and admiration from the fan base, and he seems to like the city. So fair play to Bruno Fernandes. He knows what a great club this is. He's somebody that, as a Portuguese lad growing up, will have watched the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo play for Manchester United, and he knows what it's all about. So I think that's great news, guys, that he's staying, and obviously he deserves the armband. Hopefully we hear an announcement very soon from Erik ten Hag, maybe during a presser before the next game, in regards to who will be the future club captain. But it looks like it is already Bruno Fernandes. We're just awaiting final confirmation of that from manunited.com. Okay, so, yeah, as I say, back on Onana very quickly, then we'll cover the latest news. As I say, Onana, seeing as we got derailed there, Onana wanted Ten Hag. He wants Manchester United. He knows the situation that there is at United and the project, and he's obviously very, very keen on coming and playing for us. And the medical is expected to be tomorrow, and he will sign a contract until June 2028 with an option for an extra year. Get in there, my son. Now, other big news, guys. Yes, get in there, my son. Come on. Marky Rashford, he's mank board and bread. Marcus Rashford looks like he's going to be signing on the dotted line for a new contract at the football club. I know he's a little bit of a polarising figure. There's some people that don't think he's good enough, or, you know, that he's bottles it in big games, or that he's inconsistent. And he has been in the past. But I think based on the last, last season, he obviously deserves a new contract. You can't let a player like Marcus Rashford leave for nothing. In a year's time, and various different reports coming out to suggest that he is very close to signing a new deal and has essentially, agreed the deal. So this is the report from David Ornstein. Exclusive: Manchester United reach agreement in principle with Marcus Rashford over a new 5-year contract. The deal is until 2028. It's in the final stages of negotiation. It's set to be signed after the 25-year-old rejected a more lucrative offers from England and abroad to stay at Manchester United. So what does that tell you? If he's not happy with the Manchester United role that he's got and the project and loves the club, he's not just going somewhere for the money. He deserves to be paid a lot of money because, he is obviously one of Manchester United's best players. Last season, he scored 30 goals for us in all competitions. This guy is clearly a talent, and he's still young. He's still got the best years ahead of him in his career. So it does make sense that he gets paid a lot of money, but he could have got, by all accounts here, from what David Ornstein's saying, more money signing for a different football club. So I think fair play to him for staying at Manchester United. It's a great opportunity for him, obviously, because this is his homegrown club. It's the club that's produced him, and he's got a big role within this club. But he could have just followed the money like a lot of other people do. So I'm really buzzing about that, guys. I think that's 10 out of 10 news for Marcus Rashford signing for us, hopefully for another 5 years. Genuinely, really, really hope that he continues in the sort of form that he had shown last season, which was excellent match-winning form for us. He was one of our players of the season. He was actually our player of the season last season. So anybody that says, he's crap, he was our player of our season last year. So everybody else in the team is even crapper then. You know what I mean? He was literally the player of the season, and he scored all of the goals for us in a team that was really struggling for goals. So without Rashford's goals last season, who knows what would have happened. Ten Hag deserves a lot of credit for bringing him forward and revitalising him after a really shoddy season the season before. How much is he worth, though? That's the question. So there are reports that PSG would have been interested in paying him close to £500,000 a week, or that maybe there's other clubs that would be prepared to pay more than us. That's what David Ornstein is saying here. How much do you think we should be paying Rashford per week? So we've got a report here, and you have to take this with a pinch of salt because obviously it's just speculative stuff. But there's a report here that suggests that the terms in Marcus Rashford's new Man United deal are worth £325,000 a week. Now that's from the Times Sport, so you do obviously have to take it with a pinch of salt. But yeah, I mean, that sounds about right to me, based on who's paid what these days. David De Gea was a goalkeeper who's just left us, and he was on £375,000 a week. Jadon Sancho's on a similar amount of money, and he's fucking gash and hasn't done anything and proven anything for the club. I mean, this sounds low to me, based on what I've just said. Sancho's reportedly on £350k a week or somewhere in that region. And if Sancho's on that, how can you justify paying Marcus Rashford any less than that? I think probably the cap for United's squad should be £375,000 a week based on De Gea leaving and being on that before he's left. Marcus Rashford probably deserves to be the highest paid player in the squad, or one of the highest paid players in the squad, along with the likes of Bruno Fernandes. So, yeah, I mean, who knows what he's actually going to end up getting paid, but it seems like there has been a verbal agreement in principle anyway, that they're just sort of finalising the contract terms. Maybe with bonuses and add-ons and incentives and things like that, he'll stand to make a heck of a lot more than £325,000 a week. But that seems to be the figure that is bandied around. We do have a lot of really bang-average players who are paid big money at this football club. Like if Maguire's on 220k a week now with the Champions League fee increase, etc., and there's players like Martial on 200k a week, then Rashford's worth double those twats. He literally is worth 400 grand a week. Scott says 400k. Nikolai says max 250. Exactly, Boomy. Fair. Sancho earns 350k a week. That's a bargain. Precisely agree with you. If we did end up getting Rashford for 325k a week, I think it's a bargain as well. Hey, Holy Pickle, thanks for your highlighted member comment. Get a hashtag free in the chat. Sorry I missed that, bro. He says, hi, Pig. Hope all is well with you and the Bacon Brigade. It's not too shabby, my friend. Thanks for asking. Same to you, Mr. Pickle. Thank you very much for getting in and being a member of this channel, lad. Appreciate you, dude. Get in there, you don. 500k a week, says Scott. You know, you're genuinely gutted by this. What's that, Berber? Us signing a new contract for Rashford? Come on. He's a good player. Sing Game says, I'm still doubtful Rashford is good enough. The money is all PR, in my opinion. Well, we'll see. I mean, I think he is good enough when you compare him to a lot of the other players that are at our club that haven't performed for a long time. You know, Martial is farcical, McTominay, Fred, Maguire. There's a lot of players that are just not pulling their weight. Nobody can deny Rashford pulled his weight last season. He scored 30 league goals for Piganell's sake. Neil Duffin says, very happy about Rashford. Make him a member of the Bacon Brigade. Honorary member. Absolutely. So, I don't really understand how people can be upset about Marcus Rashford signing a new deal. What do you want to happen? Him go and sign for somebody else for free and make them better? The fact is, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. If Rashford was put up on the transfer market tomorrow, maybe not tomorrow because he's got a year left on his deal, but if he had a couple of years left on his deal, he would be worth £100 million. He actually would. Because of everything that surrounds Marcus Rashford, the marketability, you got to factor this in, the name, the reputation, and also the potential. Like, he's still only 25. He still has huge potential to be like one of the best players in the world over the next 5, 6, 7 years. He still has that potential. So I am just over the moon that we've signed him up, to be fair. United says Havertz is on 340,000 per week. 325k per week for Rashford is good. Absolutely. And I'd just like to say again that is a reported amount. It could well be more than that, especially if you factor in incentives and bonuses. But that is the latest report from the Times that 325k is the amount. You know, he's an effective player. He's obviously a big name. He's an academy product. He's a homegrown talent that we've brought through. These things mean something. He's not just some twat from down the road that you signed from Arsenal or something like some Alexis Sanchez mug or, you know, whoever. He is actually a product of United. And if you were going to let Marcus Rashford go, then you would essentially have to go out there to replace him and spend a huge amount of money to get a player who's as good as Marcus Rashford. How do you replace 30 goals last season? You're going to have to go out there and buy a player who's, you know, a significant amount of money to go in and try and fill that gap. And it's just not going to happen. It's not going to come easily, especially in a transfer window where, you know, or even in a year's time where you want to be building other areas of the team. Rashford at left wing is spot on for me. Striker, yeah, you can maybe doubt him a little bit. He's not as clinical. He's not an out-and-out number 9, natural number 9. His movement's a bit sus sometimes. But tell you what, from a left wing point of view, cutting in, causing havoc, running at defenders, creating chances for his teammates, he's very effective. So, yeah, very happy with Marcus Rashford in the team. Hopefully going forward, we'll have him being even better than the season just gone. We'll see. But if he continues at this sort of level that he was over the last 12 months, we've got ourselves an excellent player. That is a big if, though. Sometimes players get this big contract. They get their final big, huge contract that they can get in their career. And then they slow down and they stop. That happens sometimes. So hopefully that's not the case with Marcus Rashford. He seems to love Manchester United. And as I said, David Ornstein reporting that he had multiple offers on the table from other teams verbally that would have paid him a heck of a lot more than staying at Manchester United. But he wants to stay at Manchester United, and I want players like that. I want players who want to be here at United, just like we talked about Bruno Fernandes earlier, with offers coming in from Saudi Arabia. And he's not interested in that. He wants to be a United player. That's what I want. And Marcus Rashford fits into that mould clearly, where he could have quite easily gone elsewhere. He could go to PSG or wherever. I'm sure there'd be a lot of clubs that would pay more money than Man United would. But he wants to stay at Manchester United. Get in there, Marcus. He's a man after my own heart. Hey, Fat Chinese Gaming, how are you today, boss? He says, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Sorry, Fat Chinese Gaming. I missed your comment here, mate. Where's it gone? Oh, there it is. It says, hello, Piggy. Hope you are well. Show me your happy face when Maguire is no longer captain. I'm happy for you. There you go, mate. Absolutely buzzing my tits off that Maguire is no longer captain of United. Absolutely sensational news about that, guys. I mean, he's an actual bad player. People slagging off Marcus, saying, you know, he's not good enough for United or whatever. I mean, he's actually pretty effective. He's actually very effective. In the last season, he was very effective. Exactly, Luan. I'm sure Saudi would give him £1 million or more per week. There you go, exactly. The only player better than Rashford on the left wing is Mbappe. Boomy, I mean, I would find it hard to replace him, Rashford, if we were to let him go. You know, if we sold Rashford, the next club would ask 150 million. Precisely, you're absolutely right, Neil Duffin, exactly. Would Rashford start for any of the top 4 rivals to sing games? Great question, that. Yes, he would. He absolutely would. Name me another left winger for those teams that scored 30 goals in all competitions last season. I think he absolutely would. In my humble opinion, he would. If Pep Guardiola had him in that team, he'd be rivaling the likes of Grealish and Foden and these guys for starting in the team, absolutely. And that's the team that's just won the Premier League and the treble. So I think he absolutely would. That's my humble opinion. You know, and there's a certain level of coaching that comes into it. People can say, oh, he's been a headless chicken in the past. Well, I tell you something, Raheem Sterling was an absolute headless chicken as well, but super effective when he was at Manchester City under Pep Guardiola, being coached properly and utilised well. If Ten Hag continues like he has done with Rashford, he could transform Rashford's career. You know, he has shown that over the last year. Since Ten Hag came in, Rashford's been a baller. He's been an absolute baller. So I honestly, you might call me delusional, but I think he'd get into any of those teams in the Premier League, honestly. There you go. I think he's better than Grealish as well. Go and have a look at the stats from last season. Okay, he might have not won the trophies because he's not part of a great team. Rashford's actually was carrying Manchester United last season a lot of the time. A lot of the time was carrying us. So would he get in ahead of those guys? I think he probably would do, and that's the best team in the league, Man City. So I personally think he would. He would be in those teams. I honestly do. 150 million for Marcus would be insane. Stefan, how you doing, bud? Well, 100 million plus at least. He's a 100 million plus player if you were going to try and sell him tomorrow. He's the right age. He's in his prime. You know, he's absolutely a top tier player. Yeah, absolutely. You're delusional. I don't think so. I mean, if you look at how much players go for, 100 million plus, Rashford, okay, he's only got 1 year left on his contract at the moment. But you're talking about Harry Kane being 29 and worth that sort of money. Rashford's 25. He just bagged 30 goals. Any team in the world would be interested in signing Marcus Rashford, I think. So I think it's you who's delusional, mate. Here you go, Stefan, but thank you for having your say. Yeah, I mean, look. Obviously, there's going to be a polarising thing here. Like, Berber's obviously a known hater of Marcus Rashford. He says, not a chance would he get in ahead of Grealish for Rashford. Would Pep drop Grealish for Rashford? I mean, Grealish has only really had a good season the last season. Before that, he was pretty guff. So, I mean, I don't know. Go and have a look at the stats of Grealish this last season gone compared to the stats of Marcus Rashford and tell me that Pep wouldn't give Rashford the nod. I think Pep would give him a nod. Smash a 1 in the chat if you think Rashford would get in City starting 11, guys. Let us know what you think. Sing Game says Rashford would get 100 to 120 million all days. A well-liked player, not good enough still. He's homegrown. He's a huge player who scored 30 goals for Manchester United last season. His reputation is massive. He's considered to be one of the best forward players in the world. So how would he not be worth 100 million? He absolutely would be. Spot on. Thank you, Parallel Sons. Absolutely starts for City. Yeah, there you go. Listen, it's a polarising topic. Some people think he's a headless chicken, but these people are living in 2021. They're not living in 2023, where he's just had the best season of any United player over the last 12 months. Things change. People move on. People progress and adapt. You can't judge people based on a couple of years ago when he was admittedly pretty rubbish. He's developed and he's changed and he's knuckled down and he's improved as a player. Give him a pigging chance, guys. Crikey. He wants to stay at Manchester United. He wants to play for United. He scored 30 goals for us last season and was our best player. What more do you want? You know what I mean? What more do you want than Rashford being our best player last year, for fuck's sake? He's obviously awesome. Why is Rashford getting all this hate? I don't get it at all. I don't get it at all, Griffo Chaz. People just don't like him. But he is obviously really talented. I mean, he's one of the best wingers in the world. I don't see how anybody could deny that. He might not have, like, the most gifted technique. He might not be the most intelligent. But I tell you what he is. He is effective. He creates chances. He scores goals. And he's dangerous. And he is quick as fuck. And he's valuable in the sense that, you know, he's young and the right age. Plus, there's too many teams that go out there and buy players. He's somebody that we've produced. He's literally an academy product of Manchester United, this guy. So how the hell can anybody not want Rashford in the team? He's literally been created by Manchester United and he's a world-class talent, or at least has the potential to be a truly world-class talent. I mean, world-class is a phrase that's often bandied around too much. I kind of think of world-class players as players that would get into any team, in the world. Pretty much any team in the world would be interested in him. Well, if he's not world class, he's pretty much damn close. Would Rashford be wanted at the right price, obviously, by the likes of, Bayern Munich or Barcelona or Real Madrid? I mean, it's arguable that all of those teams would be interested in him if the price was right. I mean, okay, Real have got Vinny Jr. and stuff like that, and he's obviously a baller, but if they didn't have Vinny Jr., they'd want Rashford. You know what I mean? They would definitely want him. He scored 30 goals last season in all competitions. How many times do I have to say that? 30 goals. 30 goals. Christopher says, how many number 9 scored 30 goals last season? Rashford is awesome. Precisely. And he's a versatile player. He was asked to do a job for us last season where he's filling in at number 9 quite often. But a lot of his goals, most of his goals, I think, came from playing on the left wing. So if you can provide that amount of impact playing from the left wing, all you need is like a really world-class striker, and all of a sudden you've got a front three that's capable of scoring a shitload of goals. That's what we need. So he was carrying us last season, absolutely carrying us. I agree, Joshua Whitfield, he's right up there. He's right up there. I do think Vinny Jr. is fantastic as well. Obviously Kylian Mbappe if he's playing out wide, but I think Rashford's in that sort of level, personally. I do think he's in that sort of level. JK, thank you for the likes tally, mate. He says we got 117 likes. Everyone, thank you for hitting that thumbs up button. Do continue to smash the like button if you haven't done so. Drop a little like on it if you haven't. That will help the channel out and boost us up there on the algorithm. And, give us the platform to maybe other people to find this channel as well. So give us a cheeky little like. Also, I don't know if I said at the start of the show, but retweet the tweet at the top of the live chat. That will help spread the word of the show as well. And then you can get your thoughts in at the end, and we'll give you a shout out as well, everyone that gives us a retweet. Superstar said we didn't pay a penny for him, and he even played with a broken back for us previously. He's our biggest goal threat. Still, people want him sold. Makes no sense. I completely agree with you, Superstar. I don't understand it, Don't understand it, to be fair. That's how it is, really. But everybody's got different opinions. For instance, Berber here says people so defensive deep down know it. You'll all be calling him Trashford again soon. I'm just being real. Thing is, you're living in the past there, though, Burby. You are living in the past, mate. If you're basing it just on the last 12 months and since the new manager's come in, Rashford's been our best player. Who had a better season than Rashford last season? You could argue there's a couple, like obviously Casemiro was pretty mint for us, but Rashford scored 30 goals. So, he carried the team in terms of actual winning games and scoring goals and creating chances and all that sort of stuff. So I think you have to, you've got to leave the past in the past. He's turned a corner. Let's all turn a corner on Marcus Rashford and agree that he is actually class. Do you know what I mean? Well, look, everybody's got their own opinions. Don't slag off Berber in the live chat, guys. He's got his own opinions. It's an opinion shared by not just Berber. Sin Games thinks he's a bit of a headless chicken as well. There's a few people that don't think he's all that. And in the past, I would admit this, guys. In the past, before last season, he was crap for Man United at times. I think when he first burst through for the first couple of seasons at United, he was brilliant, which is why he burst on the scene and established himself in the team and developed really well for a few seasons. And then he went off the boil, didn't he? But I think there was some outside, reasons for that. I think it was, maybe his back injury. He was playing injured for us a lot of the time. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer pushed him and played him all the time because he knew what a huge player he was for us, even though he was nursing injuries and things like that. So, I think people have to realise that things have changed since then, and Rashford's actually a bit of a talisman for Manchester United, and he's developed. And do you know what? Also, this doesn't matter about whether or not the main thing is about being a good enough player for Manchester United. But you know what? Rashford's actually a nice guy, and he fits the ethos of Manchester United, and that means something as well. He's a great player. There you go, Christopher. He says, Rashford haters, please go take a cold shower. Like Piggy said, stop living in the past. They are living in the past, sadly. They are living in the past. He was our best player last year, and they're clearly living in the past. Players develop and change and adapt and get better and move forward with time and improve, and they mean more to the football club. And Rashford's only grown in stature and his talismanic nature at the football club. He is a big player for Man United now. maybe you could argue he didn't used to be, but now he's a match winner. Now he's a huge name. He's a star of Man United. So we've got to respect that. Anyway, I didn't see myself getting into a debate or an argument about people saying Rashford's crap or anything, because it's just so unfathomable to me that Marcus Rashford is not wanted at Man United by some of the fan base. Like, we literally produced this guy from the academy. He's mank, born and bred, for fuck's sake, guys. What are we going to do? Sell him for not very much money, or let him go for a free in a year and then go and have to spend money to go and get somebody who probably won't even be as good as Marcus Rashford at the football club? Give your head a wobble, lads and lasses. Give your head a wobble. This is great business for Manchester United. Even if he's being paid 400 grand a week. He's a star. He's a player that other teams would be crawling over broken glass with their flies unzipped in order to try and go and sign. If he was available and wanted to go, thankfully he wants Manchester United. Thankfully he wants us. So I'm buzzing and over the moon that Marcus Rashford is on the cusp of agreeing a new deal at United, because he's a Man United product. He's a Man United lad. We don't have enough of that. He's part of our identity at this football club. Dante says, ooh, kinky. He's into a bit of S&M, this lad. Anyway, there you go. Rashford made Neymar cry on several occasions. Neil said, when the season starts and Rashford scores, you'll be jumping up and down. We stand United, we fight United. Go on, my son. Okay, yeah, everybody's entitled to their opinions. I'll say that on this channel time and time again, though. Everybody is entitled to their opinion, and if people don't rate Rashford, they're entitled to say that, but I just don't understand it. Especially, I don't understand the fact that people could be upset about him signing a new contract. Right, so this is the latest on Rashford, guys. Yes, David Orn's team reports that exclusive. Manchester United reach agreement in principle with Marcus Rashford over new 5-year contract, deal until 2028 in the final stages of negotiation, set to be signed after the 25-year-old rejected a more lucrative offers from England and abroad to stay. So he's doing all the right things. He's literally, wanting to stay at Manchester United, even though he could get more money elsewhere, basically. Even though he could get more money elsewhere. Berber says, expecting a lot of apologies come October. Okay, well, we'll hold you to that, Berber. So we'll hold you to that. Remember what Berber said. And if he's started the season well and he's performing like a Don like he did last season between the start of the season and October, you need to publicly address this and say, I was officially wrong and I'm going to go and get a Marcus Rashford tattoo on my forehead that says, I love Marcus Rashford. Okay, maybe not that bit, but you need to admit that you're wrong. If we have to admit we're wrong, then you have to admit you're wrong. And to be fair, over the last year, you've been wrong, mate. You have been wrong. You've been saying this for years. And I did say, I was shouting from the rooftops, even before last season started, that, look, Rashford needs to start performing, but let's keep the faith in him, because he's mank, born and bred, and he's shown great properties of being a great player in the past. Let's stick with him. There was loads of people slagging him off and chucking him under the bus. What happened? He had the best season out of any United player. So I've got faith in Marcus Rashford, and trust me, if he's shite for the start of the season till October, I'll hold my hands up. But I don't see that happening, because he's shown and proven what a great player he is for Manchester United over the last 12 months. And we've got a new manager who's helped this guy develop and who's brought the confidence back in Marcus. And Rashford's a completely different player to 2 years ago. Completely different player to 2 years ago. So there we go. So yes, and reports are that it could be £325,000 a week that he's being paid. But we'll have to wait and see, obviously, if that's going to be the case. It sounds low. It sounds low in this current era when there would be other teams prepared to pay him a lot more. And the fact that we're paying Sancho 350 grand a week and we were paying David De Gea 375k a week. It sounds low to me, folks. So take that with a pinch of salt. But that is reported by the Times that the terms in Marcus Rashford's new deal are worth £325,000 a week. Once again, I'll ask the live chat. I mean, how much do you think Man United will pay him? So not how much you think he's worth, but how much do you think Man United will actually end up paying him per week? I actually think 400,000. So I know this report says 325, but I think we'll end up paying him 400,000. If you're looking at other players in the squad and what they're paid, I think Rashford's probably up there as being the highest paid player in the squad. And because of how many teams would be interested in Rashford and how much they'd be prepared to pay him, you've kind of got to factor that in as well. So I think we'd have to sort of justify him staying by giving him a big money move that's sort of, not money move, but money deal that's worth his time, and that justifies him being one of the best players in the team. Could well be Fat Chinese Gaming. 350 says Ravens, 325 says Fire Up, 350 says Neil. Alex Core thinks 400k as well. I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out Man United have given him 400k a week. It sounds ridiculous. Nobody's really worth that. But if it turned out it was 400k, I would not be surprised. Yeah, Griffo, absolutely. Respect everyone's opinion, guys. Listen, we are a community around here. What makes this channel so interesting is we like to debate the game that we love. We like to talk about football. We like to talk about Manchester United. It would be so super boring if everybody has the same opinions. Nobody does have the same opinion in any walk of life. So, you know, we've got to respect everyone's opinions. That's why we put everyone's opinions up on the screen on this channel and talk about it. I give you my opinion in response to your opinions. It's because that's what this game is. Football is a game of opinions. So I always would reiterate that Griffo's just said. Respect everyone's opinions. You know, it's everybody is entitled to their say. If you're a United supporter and you love the football club and you want to see the football club do well, you've got certain expectations and you've got certain, you know, thoughts about how and why and when and everything, how that should happen. So I respect everyone's opinions, man. And you should too. Right, nice one. Okay, so yeah, there's the Rashford news, guys. It's big news about Rashford. 5-year contract incoming. I think it's brilliant. And I'm very happy with that. So in regards to other news about signings then, so we've talked about Onana. Let's get on to the other news then that we can cover before we get into a Q&A. As always, hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done. Drop a like on this video. How many are we on right now? Let's go and have a look. But let's try and get 169 likes just like that. There's 184 legends in here, which means that you can smash the like and help us get to 169. We're currently on 137, which is good, but we can do better than that, my friends. Bacon Brigade, assemble! And give us a cheeky little like spike if you haven't done so. Nice one. And of course, if you guys are new to this channel, we cover the latest United news in a no bullshit, no clickbait way. So come and get yourself subscribed and click the bell icon so you don't miss the shows. Amrabat, guys. Amrabat. This is an update from Fabrizio Romano in regards to Amrabat. Fabrizio says that, I'm hearing it's true that Sofyan Amrabat is one of the players considered. They're waiting for outgoings before deciding on a new defensive midfielder. Can I just say how fucking depressing and shite are Man United's owners and board and everything when we have to be waiting on players out to be able to sign a couple of decent fucking players, mate. Goodness me, what a shambles. Can't wait to get new owners in this football club and actually have some bollocks to go and sign players. Goodness me, Sofyan Amrabat's 25-30 million quid player. We've got to wait to sell players in order to sign this guy. How pathetic are we? Goodness me, hashtag Glazers out or what? But anyway, look, obviously we want to get this guy in, but it is a disgrace, isn't it, that we have to sell players in order to sign new players at this moment in time. I think he's going to be an excellent player for us if we can bring him into the squad, and he's somebody that will help deputise for the midfielders in the team. And look, you know, we're waiting for outgoings before deciding on an Amrabat offer. That's pathetic. There's reports that Liverpool are interested in this guy. And look, here's more reports here from the Mail. Take that with a pinch of salt as well, because it's usually gash. But this also says basically the same sort of thing. That United expect offers for Fred, Donny van der Beek and Scott McTominay, which will open the door for them to sign Sofyan Amrabat. Liverpool have not stepped up for him as of yet, and United could get a deal done for around £25 million. So there are some reports that Liverpool are interested in Sofyan Amrabat. We can't let him go to the Scousers. That would be a nightmare. It would be very disappointing if we were to lose out on a player to the Scousers, but that's ever increasingly likely if Man United are going to dawdle on this transfer and take all summer long to get the deal done and wait to sell players. We're crap at selling players, guys. We just got to hope that we can sell McTominay to West Ham or Fred to Fulham or wherever, Saudi Arabia or wherever, and sign one of these players. I get it, it's too crowded in the midfield at the moment. We've got a couple of guff players there in Scott McTominay and Fred who we want to get rid of, and they're okay. Fred's been an okay player for us. McTominay's gash, but you know, they're okay. But we want better, don't we? And so I get it. You want to move these players on, but just the fact that we have to sell them first before we can sign players is a bit of a debacle. We should be able to sign players and have the faith to sign players at any time and then get rid of these mugs as and when we need to. But unfortunately, a lot of these players are on big money and it's hard to sell these tossers. They're not tossers, are they? But some of them are tossers. Some of them play like tossers. To sell them to... Actually, Fred's a heck of a nice guy and McTominay's all right as well. But you know what I mean? In football, they're footballing tossers because they don't play well enough for Manchester United. They toss it off out there. It's not good enough. So what we need to really look at is, yeah, getting rid of those players and improving gradually by getting Sofyan. It would be nice to see that happen. Scott McTominay's wanted reportedly by West Ham, which we'll get into in a moment. But here's another report here. I think this is just speculative BS as well. But there is a report here online that says that United have made a first offer for Sofyan Amrabat. It doesn't meet Fiorentina's €30 million asking price. I think that's probably BS, to be fair, but there are some reports to say that United are already trying to sign him at this stage. I don't think it's the case. I don't think it's true. But hopefully we go in there very, very soon. And, you know, like I mentioned, there's obviously a lot of interest in United players, but what's the price and how likely is it that these guys go? So another update here from Sky Sports earlier on that says that West Ham are interested in signing Scott McTominay. United are yet to receive any official bid. The final decision over McTominay's future will rest on him. So it does depend on what Scott McTominay wants to do as well. But if we're signing other midfielders, and we have already just signed Mason Mount as well, surely the chances at Manchester United are going to start to become few and far between for players like Scott McTominay. And so if he wants to continue playing regular football, we might have to go to pastures new. And so that's what we're looking at. We're trying to move Scott McTominay on, it seems, but we're not going to let him go for nothing. Let's ask the chat, how much do you think we should sell Scott McTominay for? I think he's worth £25 million. He is. He's a good age. He's a Scotland international. He's a big player for them. Probably their best player, or certainly up there. He is a seasoned Premier League player, which means he's played a lot of seasons in the Premier League. I don't think he's a high standard Premier League player that's going to play for a top team in the Premier League. But certainly a mid-table team in the Premier League should be interested in Scott McTominay. West Ham would be a perfect fit. In fact, they've just obviously sold Declan Rice for 100 million, which means they've got the money, and they're probably looking for kind of a direct replacement for Declan Rice, which Scott McTominay can be. He's not as good, but he can be that sort of direct replacement in the midfield. And they've got David Moyes, who's a Scottish ginger goblin, who would be interested in bringing a Scotsman probably to the club, especially one of Scotland's best players. So I'm pretty sure we could get 25 million minimum for him. And that's what he is worth. He's a homegrown talent. He's probably worth, Neil Duffin says 30 million. Berber says he'd take 15 in a heartbeat. Matej says 30. Nikolai says 20 to 30. John O'Connor says 25. McTominay's the new Cleverly. Maybe 20 says Parallel Sons. 15 says Kingslayer. 15 says Scujo. 15 says Scott. 25 says Paul. 25 to 30 says Gregory. At least 30, to be honest, a superstar. Listen, if it was any other club, if Scott McTominay was playing for Fulham, or if Scott McTominay was playing for Wolves, or if he was playing for any other team, he'd be £30 million minimum. He'd be £35 million even. But for some reason, Man United are pathetic when it comes to getting rid of players. So I would take 25 million for the guy. Because, you know, that's just how it is. I think because we pay players too much money, we often price them out the market a little bit. But I reckon if he played for a different team and he was moving to West Ham, they'd be prepared. They'd probably be in a weaker stance when it comes to the negotiation. But because it's United, they know that we're crap at doing business and selling players. We don't make profits on players. The only profit we've made on a player in the last few years is on Dan James. We're crap. We lose loads of money when we sell players. And so therefore, I don't think we will get a big price like 30 or 35 million for Scott McTominay. But if he was at those teams, I think he would probably go for a little bit more. McTominay's not on a big wage. Well, that's true, Compost Smurf. I mean, comparatively, you know, that does come into it. Like, if you're going to sell Maguire, you can't ask for a tuppence halfpenny for Slabby because he's on a couple $100,000 a week and nobody's going to want to pay him that. But Scott McTominay isn't on huge money at the football club, so that does help him. That's why he's saleable as well, and that's why we will be able to generate 25 to 30 million pounds for him, hopefully, because that is a factor. Same goes for players like Donny van der Beek. He's not on big money. Alex says Donny will be a backup. I think Donny will be sold, personally. I do think we'll end up selling him. I mean, look, he's reportedly interested, or at least keen on exploring options this summer. He's not going to get that many chances at United. Donny's best position is probably playing in a CAM role, and he's got Bruno Fernandes ahead of him. He's got Mason Mount ahead of him now. Christian Eriksen ahead of him. So I just don't really see a reality where Donny van der Beek plays a lot of football at United. I think we'll sell the guy. Probably won't get much money, probably less than half what we paid for him. But he's not on big money in terms of wages per week, which means that he is saleable. So he probably will be wanted by a lower Premier League team or back to Ajax or wherever if the price is right. I could see us selling Donny. But I don't think he'll stay and be a backup. I honestly don't think. I think we'll have enough in terms of backups. If we sign Amrabat, we'll still have, you know, probably Amrabat, obviously Bruno, Mount, Eriksen, Casemiro at the football club, and then there's a couple of youngsters that you could maybe bring through. So it's like Scott McTominay and Fred are not really needed if we've signed Mount and Amrabat, but we'll see. 20 million, says Stephen. Yeah, Gregory, lower wage players are easier to move on. Absolutely, yeah, definitely. Would you take 55 million for Maguire and McSaw from West Ham? For a combination of both the players? Yeah, I thought you were talking about 55 mil for Maguire alone then. I was about to laugh my head off, son. But no, for two of them, I absolutely would. Crikey, if we could do a double deal for 55 mil for Scotty McTominay and Slabo Maguire, I would snatch David Moyes' hand off. 100%. And they'd actually be getting a good deal as well. I think that would be a good move for West Ham to try and take those players for 55 million. That'd be a brilliant move for them. I think that's the sort of move that fits everybody really well. They would end up, both the players, at a team where they're going to play a heck of a lot more than at United and can keep their places in their national teams respectively. I mean, Scotty McTominay could play for Kettering Town and still play for Scotland. But Slabby Maguire's got to be playing regularly, I think, going forward to get in that England team. And he's got to think about that. Maguire, you know, he's obviously less money than McTominay, I think, these days. We paid 80 mil for him, but because of his wages, that puts his initial transfer fee down because the team who's taken him on is going to have to pay his wages. But I would absolutely take 55 million for both of those guys, and West Ham would be getting seasoned Premier League proven players who would actually make them better. You know, okay, Rice is gone, but from this point, he would make them better. Both of those players would make them better. So I think that's a perfect signing for West Ham. Do a double deal. Take both of those scumbags off of us. It would be a monumentous day. That would be amazing. Exactly, Tim Curd. And let's be honest, bro, you'd pay 5 million to Moyes to take McTominay and Maguire. There you go. Yeah, well, they are seasoned proven Premier League melters for Man United, which is why they need to go and play for a melter team. You know, it'd be perfect. Just on Harry Maguire then. So here's the latest on Harry Maguire as well. Another speculative report here. But there is a report that says West Ham have had a loan offer for Harry Maguire rejected by Man United. Now, I don't like loan offers. I don't like our big money players or big name players going out on loan, to be fair. I would rather sell them. But it might be the best outcome this summer would be for Man United to loan Harry Maguire out. Because we save face and maybe not losing a huge amount of money. Like, nobody's going to want to pay big money for him, as we've mentioned. If they're going to pay his wages, it becomes a lot more favourable for these teams who may well want to take Harry Maguire on in order to have him in their squad, because there is no big fee up front. Yeah, they got to pay the wages. But I'm talking about like a loan with an option to buy. Loan with an option to buy. Then in a year's time, the option to buy could be a little bit less. So it's more justifiable for everyone. And there's less risk for the team that would be taking him on. So if, say, West Ham were prepared to take him on loan and cover all of his wages and not have much of a fee up front, but have an option to buy him in a year's time for, I don't know, 25 or 20 million or something, they only have to exercise that option if he has a great season for them and if he does well. And if not, it's back to United. And United have that option to sell him in a year's time, hopefully, anyway. And it gets the couple £100,000 off of our books. So, I don't know, I think probably it would actually work for both clubs. It would probably work for most clubs if they were interested in Slabby, because they don't have to fork out a big amount of money up front, and we don't have to be seen taking a ridiculously low figure for a guy who, let's face it, is shite. So, I don't know, guys. I mean, what do you prefer? To keep Harry, to sell Harry, or to loan Harry? Let me know what you guys think. It's Compost Mercer's obligation to buy. I don't know. I think that's going to be a hard sell, mate. That's going to be a hard sell. I think it might have to be an option to buy, honestly, with Harry. An obligation to buy, that might be a hard sell. Can see him going back to Leicester. That'd be brilliant, Stefan. Championship bound. Ezio says sell. Compost says sell. Sell him, says Paul Liebenberg. Yeah, Tontini says West Ham are playing hardball and they think they'll push the boat out to grab the melter for a fiver. There you go. Well, if they want him, they've got to come and pay for him, or at least do a decent deal that satisfies us loan-wise. Kingslayer says sell in a galaxy far, far away. JK says loan Harry so we can hope to increase value. That's not going to happen, is it? Harry's not going to have his value increase, I don't think, in a year's time, because he might have a good season for them, which in that sense, I hear you. But also, he's getting older. He's 30 now, so it'll be a year older. Plus, his contract will be a year shorter at United by the time he returns next summer. So I don't think we'd get more money for him next summer than we could do right now. But it just makes more sense in a year's time to maybe get 20 mil for him rather than sell him for 20 mil right now. All the above. United says only sell. Sell if possible, otherwise loan. Sell, but don't see it happening. Fair play. Yeah, good shout. Gregory says Slabby should be sold to one of the newly promoted teams. Burnley, Sheffield United and Luton Town. Good fit for him. Good fit for him. He's a symbol of our banter era and has to go. They got money that EastEnders Melts can pay for him. Exactly, we know they've got the money. And like I just said, it's only half of what they got to Declan Rice to get both Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire. So it's a great bit of business for West Ham and Man United if we could do a deal like that. We might have to pay West Ham to take him, says Paul. Drop him off in the New Forest with a pony. Keep so he can light up the United channels each week. Release him, pay him off. We all know they have got 100 million from Arsenal, so we're the ones playing hardball. Absolutely agree. That's how it is. It's great business for West Ham. He'd be a decent player for West Ham. I strongly believe that. I know he's been crap for United, but I honestly think he'd be pretty good for West Ham. GTL Red, I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking, boss. Appreciate you, lad. Hello there, Elliot Manduna. That's a FIFA deal, says Alex Cole. Well, maybe, but it's wishful thinking, but they've got the money. They could pocket 50 million and sign both those players, which could arguably make their team better in a way. I don't know about that, but it would definitely give them more options. Right, so Maguire loan rejected potentially is a possibility, and Amrabat speculative talks about Manchester United maybe already starting negotiations. As I mentioned earlier, Bruno rejected more than 2 approaches to Saudi 1 month ago. We got a report from Fabrizio Romano about Henderson as well, which says this: Manchester United and Nottingham Forest will be in contact again this week to discuss Dean Henderson's permanent deal. This is part of Man United's plan, is to let Henderson leave once Onana signs. And Zion Suzuki, one of the options as a new backup goalkeeper, is close to Man United starting to get the ball rolling on a transfer move for him as well. So Henderson, yes, see you later on, Hendo. That would be a great bit of transfer business if we could get him off the books. He's on a lot of money for a goalie. And also just generate 15 or 20 or 25 million, whatever you can get for him. He'd be a good goalkeeper for someone like Nottingham Forest for years to come. But for United, we need better. And plus, we just signed Onana. So, yeah, get rid of Henderson and get a new backup keeper in there. See you later on, Hendo. No one gives a toss about you, lad. And then in regards to Suzuki, as I mentioned, he is a target for Man United as a backup, and it's understood that United are expected to trigger Zion Suzuki's release clause, which is about £5 million, and the club looks to secure the player's services soon. So we could be seeing Zion Suzuki coming into the football club as a backup for Andre Onana, with Henderson on his way out, which means that United would have great strength in depth in the goalkeeper position, but not paying anybody too much money to do nothing. So we'd have Andre Onana as the main guy. We'd have Zion Suzuki as a backup. We still have Heaton as a backup, and Kovar maybe one for the future as well. So, you know, we'd be in a really good position goalkeeper-wise. That's what we need to do. Get in there, my son. Hopefully it's the case. And then the final bit of transfer news I've got for you lads and lasses this afternoon, before we get into the Q&A, is in regards to Rasmus Højlund. And still the latest on him, reported by Sky Sports, is that Manchester United still hope to get a deal done for Rasmus Højlund. There's a willingness from all parties to get a deal done, with Rasmus keen on the move to Manchester United. So there's been negotiations in the past between the club and the player, verbal agreements essentially, or in regards to wages and whether or not he would want to come to Manchester United. All that has been positive talks. And just in terms of the amount agreed between the two clubs, that's really what's sort of up in the air. They would want in excess of 70 million for him, 70 million euros. Some reports go as high as 85 million pounds. Man United wouldn't want to pay that amount of money for Rasmus Højlund. He's worth about 50 million euros tops, in my opinion. But if United have any bollocks about us this summer, that's who we should go and get right now. Get the business done early for a striker, get him in there for pre-season, allow him to develop and settle in, and be a really good goal scorer for us going forward for many years to come. And then at the end of the window, once we've sold a bunch of players and cleared up a bit of space in the club and got some players off of our wages and generated some transfer kitty, go and sign Harry Kane and have two strikers coming in this summer, which would generate us so many more goals, give us so many more options, cover for injuries, and actually be a serious serious couple of players to take us forwards. Whereas, Man United right now, we're just hoping that, well, we've got Martial and Rashford really that are the players that can play at striker, and that hurts our team. It weakens us in the left wing position. If Man United want to be serious about challenging for things and winning things, challenging for the Premier League, then, that's what we need to do, is try and get two forward players in this summer. Ezio says we've got Greenwood, we don't need Højlund. Greenwood's a sex pest. I'm just better up. But you know what? Serious Ezio, I mean, that's not constructive at this moment in time, mate. We don't even know if this guy's going to play with us ever again, mate. We don't know if he's going to play with us. We don't know if he should play with us. Like I said before, I don't even want to talk about Mason Greenwood. He's a dirtbag. Chances are he's not going to play for Manchester United ever again. And there's been this internal investigation conducted by Manchester United to decide whether or not this guy should be a Manchester United player. And we don't know what the outcome of that is. I don't even know if we want Mason Greenwood at the club, upsetting the fine balance that exists within the squad harmony right now. To me, Mason Greenwood's time at Manchester United is done because of what's happened. It's a PR shitstorm. It's got the potential to upset the apple cart at United's dressing room. Do we need a player like that? Does Ten Hag need the headache? I know he's a great player. I know he would have gone on and done amazing things at United, but he's a bit of a scumbag. You know? It's difficult. Lalu says Giggs was a dirtbag too. He was, but he was a dirtbag after leaving Manchester United. If he was a dirtbag whilst at United, it could have been a different future for him. No, he's a great player. He's a great player as Mason Greenwood, but I don't think he's ever going to be, a Manchester United player again. Who knows? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And if he gets played for United, I'm sure people sort of have short memories in football. I'm sure after a while, people will forget, but I don't really want to see him starting for Manchester United again. Cavalier says, Harriet, forgive him. Yeah, I know. She dropped the charges and he didn't face trial and he was never found guilty. I know. But did you not hear that audio clip, mate? Sounded a bit rapey to me, just saying. And, goodness me. Anyway, listen. Everybody's got their own opinions on this. It's a polarising topic. I'll ask the live chat, do you want Mason Greenwood to stay or go at Man United? We do this every so often, and it's always very polarising. It's a very big split. So think about what that means for United's coaching staff and United's team and the women's team at United. They'll be very split as well. Let's see what the chat says. Ezio says stay. Andrew Cross says go, stay, go. Sin Game says you would not want him dating your daughter, would you? That's a 10-4 on that one, mate. Stay, says Jay. Go, says Nikolai. Go, says Dublin. Go, says Alex. Stay, says Colin. Stay, says Larry. Stay, says Luan. Don't care, says Kingslayer. Stay, says Gregory. Go, says Mattis. That's what I'm saying. It's a polarising topic. Nobody really can agree on this. It's really a 50-50 split on Mason Greenwood. So I think that makes it difficult for him to stay. Anyway, fuck Mason Greenwood, guys. Fuck Mason Greenwood. Guy's a dirtbag. Let's talk about Højlund. He's a potential for the future, right? And he is, a target for Manchester United. It's wishful thinking and it's a dream scenario that we could go and get Kane. It really is. Do a poll, says JK United. Oh, goodness me. You want me to do a poll? I'm not going to do a poll. I've just conducted a visual poll in the live chat. Oh, all right, then I'll do a pigging poll real quick for 5 minutes. Get your votes in. Greenwood, stay or go. But it's going to be very split. I tell you that now. Greenwood, stay, go. There you go. There's the poll right there. Get your votes in. I'm sick of talking about pigging Mason Greenwood, to be honest with you. I really am. Right, there's that anyway. Okay, so quick rundown of what we've discussed, and then we'll get back into that, see what you legends are saying. Have a vote. I'd like him to go. That's my personal opinion. Generate some cash. Move on from that saga. Move on from that absolute PR nightmare and shitstorm, and hopefully go and replace him with a suitable player who's more befitting of Manchester United. There you go. Okay, so here's the latest transfer news, guys. In regards to Andre Onana, if you're just getting in here, it's obviously set to join Manchester United. He's at the moment today still over in Italy, but he will be flying to Manchester United very soon to conduct his medical. He's over in Inter. He went to Inter Milan's training complex this morning to say goodbye to everybody there before flying out to Manchester. So he should be flying into Manchester tonight or tomorrow to conduct that medical, which is expected to take place tomorrow. So that would be fantastic to see him at Carrington, at United, and obviously have his medical conducted and completed, and then hopefully get all the paperwork signed and etc., and then we can unveil him as an official Manchester United player. It's expected that should all be wrapped up and done and dusted by Wednesday or Thursday this week, so Onana will be an official Man United player come Thursday at the latest, but could well be before. And as I say, medical incoming for tomorrow. Get in there, my son. Onana medical Tuesday. Says Matteo Moretto as well. I think so. Yeah, just confirmation that the medical is going to be Tuesday. Fab says that the medical's incoming. He says Andre Onana deal has been agreed yesterday night, as Manchester United will now start to prepare contracts and paperwork, then book the medical tests. Onana will sign until June 2028, plus the option until June 2029. Expectation is for an initial announcement later this week, but not today. So that's the latest on Andre Onana. Get in there, my son. He is a red. He is coming. And, we just got to wait for his medical to be conducted. And he's obviously said his goodbyes at Inter. So he's done. He's a done deal, guys. No dramas on that one. The other big news of today is that Marcus Rashford is on the cusp of signing a new deal at Manchester United. David Ornstein reported that he has verbally agreed, or at least agreed a contract in principle, with Manchester United to extend his stay at the club for 5 years, and that he'll be reportedly on at least £325,000 a week. So that's the latest big news on Marcus Rashford as well, which is great news in my opinion. Happy days. I'm very happy to report that Rashford's very close to signing a new deal at United. I love him, and I want him to continue to develop and get better and turn into one of the best players in the world. I don't think he's even that far off these days. I think he's a great player who scored 30 goals for us last season. I'm buzzing about us bringing him in. And then in regards to Amrabat as well, Amrabat is a player that we are strongly linked with. There's reports that we are testing the water at the moment with Fiorentina, and we may have even put a bid in for him, a speculative bid that has been rejected, but we'll have to wait and see what materializes there. There are some reports to suggest that we may have to sell players before we can sign Amrabat, which would obviously take a bit of time, which is annoying, but I think we could maybe go in and get him very soon. Amrabat's a player on Ten Hag's list that we want to bring in and help bolster those midfielder options. So get it done. And then there's obviously players linked with a move away. Maguire's a target for a couple of clubs. Reportedly, teams like Newcastle are even interested in, which blows my mind, but certainly West Ham. And then McTominay's got strong interest from West Ham as well after they sold Declan Rice. The other news that came out today is that, Henderson is expected to leave Manchester United now with the signing of Andre Onana. And Fab reported that there will be talks reopened with Nottingham Forest for the permanent transfer of Henderson to them, which is great news. Also, Suzuki, the goalkeeper, backup goalie, Zion Suzuki, will hopefully be coming to United soon. Man United are reportedly close to matching his release clause in order to start the transfer of Zion Suzuki. So that's great news as well. And United still hold out hope for Højlund. So that's the latest afternoon's transfer news, guys, and Man United news. Rashford's a red. Onana's a red. And hopefully Maguire is a maroon. Hopefully he's not a red. Hopefully he goes and plays for West Ham or one of those shite clubs like that. There you go. Right, that's the transfer news. Let's get into the live chat for the Q&A. Before we do, everyone smash that like button. We're close to 200 likes. Thanks, everyone, for dropping that like button. It means a lot. Thanks for hitting the likes. It's free, and it only takes a second, so drop that like button before you forget. Hit the likes. Also, if you're new, subscribe. Then you'll be able to chat in the live chat and have your say throughout the show. Click the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss these streams. And now it's time to see what the community's got to say for themselves. Get your thoughts and opinions in. We will have a bit of a Q&A now, see what you legends are saying. Thank you, Rajat. Same to you, bro. Yeah, I talked about that a little bit last night. Now 7 8 since that we're linked to Leon Goretzka. I think it sounds pretty speculative to me, to be fair, lad. Neil says the new MUFC captain, Maguire's twin captain, Pugwash. Maguire, is he the worst captain in United history? Yes, I think so. So now we want just waiting for an announcement to be made. I think it will be Bruno Fernandes. If United sign a new striker, do you want Rashford to play on the left or a sub-rotational player? 100% play on the left. It gives us extra quality up there. Imagine if we had Kane playing at striker or even any other top number 9. And he's also scoring 25 plus Premier League goals a season. Rashford's very effective from the left and scores a lot of goals from the left. And he creates a lot of chances from the left as well, based on the last season. So, yeah, anywhere we can strengthen and make the team better, because if we place Rashford at striker, it means that we weaken the left wing position. Garnacho's obviously a great talent. He's amazing. But if you were to play Sancho there, you're going to have to rotate players. It's not like you can expect Garnacho to play all of the games all season long. So I think Rashford left wing is his best position, and then we need another striker to come in and score goals. Worst player in Premier League history, says Primot. Jim Watkins says, yes, I agree, Pink Maguire is the worst captain in our history. I agree with you there as well, Jim. Absolutely, lad. Hope you're good today, getting in from down under, bro. Garnacho over Anthony, says Ezio Auditore. Well, I see Garnacho's best position being over on the left wing, but you never know. Pig, what do you think of the upcoming Man United West Ham game? Man United 0, West Ham 2. McTominay score a worldie and Maguire with a header against Martinez. Penalty missed by Rashford. You got a very vivid imagination there, Kingslayer lad. I don't think that's going to happen. This is what I think is going to happen. If they've got Maguire and McTominay by then, McTominay assists Maguire for an own goal and we win 1-0 in an absolute snooze fest. That's probably more likely. Rashford best position is left wing. Completely agree with you, GTL Red. Rashford's great off the left, 100%. Completely agree there, sir. Who's worse signing, Slab or Pogba, says Lalu Patu? I mean, maybe Pogba. He literally left us for nothing. I think we'll get some money back for Harry Maguire, but maybe Pogba. I don't know. That's a toss-up. That's really hard, actually, to even really argue or even really suggest. They're both absolutely dross and awful signings, and they both cost way too much money. They both provided us with nothing for years. It's a hard one. Stephen Shipman says, Pigo, do you think we could get a tap into the South American market through Anthony, Cassie and Garnacho? It could also solve our homegrown problem with youth players as well. Yeah, I don't see why not, Stephen Shipman. It's something that we used to do a bit more of. I seem to remember, 20 years ago, United had some sort of feeder club deal with, was it Flamengo or something? I can't remember, but we definitely, used to tap into the market a bit more over there. Players like Anderson, the De Silva twins, etc. come in. So maybe you will start to see more of that. Dave says 30 million for Maguire and a lifetime of gratitude from United fans to the Hammers. That's a top deal. Love that. Very true. 10 plus says Onana, Martinez, Amrabat could do a bouncing at a nightclub. Maguire a bouncer at a bouncy castle party. Nice one, yeah. He is a bit cartoonish, that Melter. Pogba, because we had way higher expectations. I did as well. I thought he was going to do some great things for us, and he was shite. £80 million for a centre-back, you better be good. Young Wizard thinks Slab was 100% the worst, signing out those two. Yeah, I think Pogba was worse just, though, but it's very, very close. What a player Xavier Hernandez was, Jim Watkins. Yeah, if only we could find another player like that to be an all-time great super sub for us. Him, Solskjaer, those sorts of players, very invaluable to a squad. There was this one funny time that a teenager kept the captain's armband for the final few minutes of a match instead of passing it into one more senior player, as he should have. Fair penny there, Gregory Burke. Respect. Chicharito was a great player, says Jim Watkins. Pogba's twice as bad. We literally knew he's shite as a youngster and went back with 100 million for him. I know that was mad. Fergie didn't see what others saw in him. He ended up not staying at United and going for free. He went to Juventus and became a great player. To be fair, while he was at his Juventus, that was his purple patch. That was his period where he was really great. But it's Serie A. But he was like an actual genuine match winner for them. You can go back and look at compilations of Pogba when he was at Juventus. He's banging in loads of great goals and playing really great. But I think he's just a heads gone merchant, isn't he? His head just went. He's not hard. He doesn't work that hard. He's just very much a lazy guy, I think. I think once he made it to his 300k a week contract at United, he's like, well, I've done it now. Once he won that World Cup, he's like, well, I've done it now. Can't be asked. Mason Stay won the poll, 51%. It's still going. The poll's still going. Have a vote in the poll. We'll end that in a moment and see what's going on. But like I say, it's a polarising topic. You can't really get much more polarising than 51% say stay and 49% say go, which is what it currently is. That's not a unanimous enough sort of outlook for the fan base, if you ask me. Fair enough if 75% of the fans wanted Greenwood. I'd say, maybe do it. But because it's 50-50 and I'm in the camp that says go, I don't see how he can actually stay. His position's almost untenable at United now. Yep, Pogba let Riola ruin him, gave him a bad attitude. Maybe because Maguire was captain. I mean, that's a fair point. That definitely comes into it as well. Being the captain means something, and if you're going to come in for 80 mil and be a shit captain. But then again, it's not actually his fault that Maguire cost 80 mil. It's not his fault he was given the armband by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, was it? What do a tick and the Eiffel Tower have in common? They're both parasites. Ah, good one. Good one. Could harm future sponsorship deals. Greenwood has to go. Precisely, United. Precisely. Noto says Maguire was undoubtedly the worst player. Pogba was held back by injuries and trying to regain form after injuries. I'm not so sure, Notos. I don't know. I'd actually prefer Maguire in my team. No joke. I prefer Maguire in my team than Pogba, because Pogba was in the engine room and he was shite. He was like in the engine room of the Titanic or something, trying to bail out water all the time. He was rubbish. In fact, at least Maguire gave it his all every game that he played for United. He was crap, but he tried. Pogba, I don't think you can say the same, that he tried and gave his all 100% of the time. Please stay, Greenwood, says Farabi. We need another CDM, says Mounts. Well, we're going to get Amrabat, I think, who can play, obviously, a deeper midfield role. He's more maybe a centre midfielder, but he can certainly play a playmaker, sort of passer, tick-over metronome type role for us whenever Casemiro's not available. But I'm with you. I'd like to see Paulinho come in as a backup for Cassie. How Thomas Partey got away with Arsenal, I never know. Well, there you go. Pogba came with a virus and spread it around. We had no engine in the engine room. Pogba played like a prancing that ballerina. You're absolutely right. He was just poor, wasn't he? Pogba won us Europa League. What has Maguire won us? Don't think you can really say that. I don't think you can say Pogba won us the Europa League. Obviously, it was a team effort. But it's a fair point. Young Wizard says it as well. He says Pogba won trophies, cost us Europa. Fair point. That season with Pogba in the side, we did actually win three Mickey Mouse trophies. Rocksteady says a shite Pogba still better than a great Maguire. Interesting. What's the max you would pay for Hoyland? 50 million euros. Which is about 44 million quid or whatever. 43 million quid. I'll go 50 million euros for Hoyland. Thank you, Top and Special, for subscribing to the channel. Nice one there, bro. Yes, indeed. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We're on here daily. We'll be back on tonight as well with the evening's transfer news for United. So come and join us. Keep hitting that like as well, guys. We are close to 200 likes. We're currently on... I don't know. I can't see, actually. But hit that like button. Hit that like button. Let me just go over to Twitter as well and shout out everyone who's retweeted this stream today. It does help us out. So please do give us a retweet if you're on Twitter. Let me go over and see who's given us a share. And I'll shout you legends out. I appreciate everyone who does that. It does help. Okay then. So we've had 13 retweets. Thank you, legends, for retweeting it. And I'll shout each and every one of you out here. Shout out to Jaden MUFC. Shout out to Aaron Homeyard. Shout out to the Don Berber Spin 9, a.k.a. Ryan, a.k.a. the Gaming Simp. What a legend. Shout out to ADV. Shout out to Wizzy Key. Shout out to Erwan Abdullah and Harjiv and JK United Gaming and John Boy Cat, the Butcher of Manchester, Paul Nangle, Sing Games, and the Mario 55 Eric. Shout out to you, legend. Thank you so much indeed for retweeting the show and sharing it. And shout out to Boomy as well, who's always also given us a late retweet there. Thank you very much, guys, for sharing the show. It does help. Great stuff. Okay, back into the live chat for a few minutes. Then we'll have to wrap this stream up and be back on later tonight for the latest evening's transfer news. We need Greenwood, says Sandy. I mean, as a footballer, it's a big loss. Big loss for us. But do we need him? We had a better season last season without him, in all fairness. But who knows? We probably would have had an even better season with him. He would have solved a lot of problems as a striking option for us. We wouldn't have had to have used Weghorst, and Green was 10 times the player, really. So you're right. I mean, thank you, Rocksteady says subbed. I'll pass you around. Thank you, my friend. Nice one, Rocksteady. Yeah, give us a subscribe if you're new and tell your friends about it. Gonçalo Ramos says Pajero, Mehdi Taremi. He's a good shout as well, absolutely. Yeah, he's linked to United. You never know. We need a striker. Absolutely, Mehdi Taremi. Yep. Look, these players are linked with us. Whether or not we're actually realistic to go and get them, we'll have to wait and see. I think Højlund seems to be the main target that United are looking at the moment. But it's whether or not he's priced out of the move for us because Atalanta wanted too much, which means we may well turn our attention elsewhere. And same goes for Harry Kane. He's priced out of the move for us at the moment. We might make Spurs sweat all summer long and be able to do a deal at the end of the window. Or he may well end up going to Bayern Munich, or he just won't be able to go anywhere because Spurs are too greedy. As a footballer, would you rather have Anthony, Sancho or Greenwood for right wing, obviously? Right, okay, well, as a footballer, just to answer this in an honest way, honestly, it would be Mason Greenwood. Honestly, I think he's probably better and has a better potential than all of those players you just mentioned. So I know I'm sort of contradicting myself a bit there, but it's not all about just the football aspect. I think Greenwood probably would be the most talented player out of those three in the future, and even now. But the problem is, he's a dirtbag. Yeah. That's the problem here. It's not about football. It's actually not about football. Anthony does work for Ten Hag. I agree. Yeah, no, Anthony's going to be good for us. I'm not slagging Anthony off. I'm just saying I think Greenwood's got potential to be even better. I don't know, actually, Scott Duran. Very soon, lad. A nice one, Habtamu. Got somebody in from Ethiopia in the chat. Get in there. Ethiopia represent. Hey, thank you very much, Stefan Harringtonio. Appreciate you, my man. Get in there, dude. Love it. Taremi would be a potential good signing, but would be bullied incessantly by the media for being Iranian and playing for United. Don't think so, no toes. Very much doubt that. I mean, we've had lots of players from all walks of life and all countries who play for Manchester United and nobody really gets bullied by the media. I actually completely disagree with you. Don't think so. I think Man United is a very inclusive football team, actually, when it comes to having players from all over the world play for us. Haven't pre-ordered it yet, Ezio at all, lad. Waiting for payday, lad. Rocksteady says we should turn our attention to the under-21s for a backup striker. Both McNeil and Hugo are coming on sound. Yeah, well said. They should definitely be given chances this season to develop and, play a bit part role at the very least, or it's, at least one of them should be, because we've got good talents there and they're never going to develop into the players we want them to be unless they get chances and show what they can do. So I agree, they should be given chances in a backup capacity this season. 100% agree with you. What about some Japanese strikers or midfielders, Pig? I don't know about midfielders, but we've obviously got Zion Suzuki, who represents Japan, coming in. We've previously had, of course, Shinji Kagawa, who played for us, who was Japanese. So, You think the media suck and always stay true to form? Well, the media does suck. That's true. Anyway, guys, right, we're going to have to wrap this video up basically now. We're getting on for nearly 90 minutes we've been on this show, which is a significant amount of time. But it's been a great chat today, this afternoon. Thank you, everyone, for getting in here. Make sure you drop a like on this video before you go. Hit the subscribe if you're new. Get your thoughts and opinions in. Have your say. Get your thoughts and opinions in. When the video's finished, you can come back afterwards and have your say in the not live comments about anything we've discussed in this live chat. Shout out to all the legends on the screen here who have watched the show and got your thoughts and opinions in and interacted with me in the live chat throughout. Really appreciate you all. Thank you all to the moderators, people like Berber, for getting in here and moderating the chat throughout. Thank you to all the channel members in green for being channel members. It's much appreciated, lads and lasses. Cheers to every single one of you for getting involved and having your say. It's a great community of legends around here. Thanks for you all having your say. Nobody has to agree. Oh shit, before we end, let's end that Greenwood poll. And, oh, look at that. So we've got a definitive answer on the Greenwood poll now, guys. And the Greenwood poll is 55% say for Mason Greenwood to stay. Wowzers. 55% want Mason Greenwood to stay. Still, though, it's very split in the chat, isn't it? Very split in the chat. Sean, you can't actually, mate. I'm just wrapping up. Go and check out the start of the video, though. Please go back to the start. And you all shall be revealed, my friend. There's lots of transfer news today. So go back and watch it from the start, mate, and you'll get a good idea of what's happened. Thank you, Jim, Vachi, Primot, Scujo, Berber, Primot, you legend, get in there, Rajat, Gregory Burke, Jake Ladd, Scott Duran, everybody else as well. Thank you very much indeed for getting in here, guys, and playing with the community. That sounded a bit wrong, but you know what I mean, for having your say. Appreciate it, guys. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick, and Threads at Flying Pig United. All the links are in the description. Check out the website, flyingpigunited.com. Thank you, Bajero. Thank you, Counter Debate, Gregory, and everybody else. Have a good one. Much love to you guys. Stay classy. And thanks for watching. Come back after it's finished and have your say in the not live comments. I'll see you a bit later on. We'll be back around sort of 9:30 p.m, 10 p.m. for the evening's news show to check out the latest goings on. You never know. We might have a bit more on Onana's medical then. We also might have a bit more on United, maybe going in for another player. That's it from me, though. Cheers for watching. Stay classy. Have a good one. Piggy loves you. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they sink, sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.